Hey quilters, welcome to AccuQuilt Live. I'm Pam Heller, AccuQuilt's cutting expert. Thanks so much for joining us on a Wednesday afternoon. My good friend Kristina's in the house. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing just fine. I'm inside where it's cool.
It is so hot
It's
in
so
Omaha.
gross.
110 in the heat index.
Then it drops tomorrow, thank goodness.
Yes, it's going to be a little bit nicer. Have you been sewing a lot?
Yeah, I've been hand sewing a lot, watching the Olympics while I hand sew. It's been pretty great this week.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, so where is everyone watching from today? Let's see.
There's someone from Scotland.
Debbie is from Bristol, Connecticut. Sue from Wichita, Kansas. That's just down the street. Julie from Orlando. All of those places, I feel like they're hot. Okay, I have to get a drink. Hey, do you have your Go mug yet?
I know, they need to all get one.
They're on our website. I don't know, look for coffee mug.
I think so, yeah.
You need to have one. So on Wednesdays, we can all just sip from our coffee mug. All right, did you love the projects in our countdown video? Let's take a closer look at a few of those. First up is Autumn. Do you love this, Kristina?
It's so cute. It looks like the texture looks so lovely.
Yes, it's our rag dye and so much easier than using scissors to cut the edges.
Oh, I can't imagine.
The fabric is super cute. Good job, Autumn. Next we have Candace. Okay, Kristina, what's the pattern?
Something with diamonds and stars.
Diamond stars. Yep, it was our first cube pattern. So let's look, let's see, because we're smart. I bet she used her 12-inch cube.
You think?
Those look like they're pretty big blocks.
Yeah.
They're beautiful, Candace. Good job. And finally, we have Nicole K. So Nicole, these are just half square triangles. Kristina and I want to know if you're following the half square triangle challenge that we follow.
Yeah, it looks like some of those blocks just look really familiar.
So Nicole K, if you're watching today, just message us if you're watching Stephanie Jacobson, right? Because
yes,
Stephanie's our half square triangle guru. All right, before we get started today, listen, sometimes I get mail at AccuQuilt, and I want to show you this amazing quilt that I got today. My husband, Ray, is from Southern California, and his very favorite place to eat in all the land is In-N-Out Burger.
Makes sense.
I know, super good. And so when I traveled, they're In-N-Outs in Arizona and Texas and California and all of these kind of things. So we have, our sister company is called Memory Stitch, and they can take your t-shirts and make an amazing, am I good? Right here, or up right here. Let's turn it this way. There we go. It's okay. We're gonna walk right here and see. So look at this. Can we get a good shot of this? So here's, let your end go down just a little bit so my arm doesn't break. Okay, so here's In-N-Out Burger, and here's the backs of the t-shirts, and here's the fronts. And this is Columbian Cobras, which is Oakley's elementary school. And then my husband went to medical school. He is a physician. So here's his senior week t-shirt and this Creighton shirt. And then he did an Ironman race, so there's his Ironman. So isn't that so cool?
I love Memory Stitch's quilts. They're so good.
And look, okay, the back,
so
super soft.
Soft minky.
It's that soft minky stuff.
So good.
You might, super, super cool. So that particular quilt took 30 shirts. How many was yours, Kristina?
Probably about, it's a queen size, so it was a lot.
Yeah, and I'm super excited because we can just like have it downstairs. In the wintertime, it's nice and heavy and it has that cuddle fabric.
Yes,
so,
I use mine all the time, like summer, winter, like it's perfect.
Yeah. So if you're thinking, oh, what should I do with all those t-shirts? Check out Memory Stitch. All right, here is the photo of the day. Do we not look like we are 12 years old there? Just look at that. This is my husband, Ray, and I. We were married 36 years ago. And we had a wedding, and we had afterwards, there was a little brunch, and we cut cake, and then we had a reception, we cut cake, and then we had another reception, we cut cake. We have so many pictures of us cutting cake. So the question of the day, because we're gonna talk about double wedding ring, is what is the best flavor of wedding cake you have ever tasted? So in the comments section, what's the best flavor? So we had so many. We had one that had like a raspberry filling and white. It was beautiful. And then one that had chocolate ganache. So Kristina, what's the favorite?
Oh, like I don't want to say Costco cake, but partially probably Costco cake. But also one of my dear friends, Gloria, got married like 2 or 3 years ago, and she had a mariachi band. She had traditional tacos, but then she had a tres leches cake. And it was so good.
I bet it was so
It was like
good.
authentic, like her abuela made it. Like it was the best.
How fun. I've been to a wedding, and the groom liked carrot cake. So they had a little small carrot
Yeah.
cake, which is one of my favorites. So in the comments section, okay? All right. Did you love our show yesterday? The amazing Eleanor Burns visited us via Zoom. You can check it out if you missed it yesterday. But Kristina, let's talk about that show yesterday. It was so much fun.
Yes, anytime Eleanor is around is just, you cannot help but smile.
And she used all these great strip dyes and talked about sashing and cornerstones. So I don't know if you know this, quilters, but we have a strip dye bundle on our website, Kristina, right? And it has a whole bunch of different sizes of strips.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, and tell us how much it is, because today our savings is 28% off.
So
That code saved
with that bundle, you take $146 off, so it's only $375.
$375, and we'll ship it to you free, right?
Yeah, contiguous US, yep.
$150. So if you're thinking, gosh, what size dyes should I, what size strip dyes, get your favorite or get that amazing bundle, okay? And yesterday we had a shipment of Go Bigs come in. I know some of you have been waiting for the Go Bigs, so they are in stock. Now, Kristina, we have limited quantities, right?
We do, yep.
Is supply and demand in the world right now.
Yes,
is
the supply chain is very limited. Stuff's getting stuck overseas. Stuff's getting stuck on the coast. So
right. So tell us, how much is our Go Big if it's 28% off?
yes, the Go Big is $431.
$431, and we'll ship it to you free. So today's promo is take 28% off your order of $28 or more. I love it when we're trying to do math, okay? Use the promo SAVE28, S-A-V-E-28. And if you spend more than $325, we're gonna add a little free Go Me.
Yes.
All right, and it's free, right? There's no additional code.
Nope, you will just toss it in your, well, we won't toss it in your bag.
I always say we're gonna just toss one in your order, and Erica says, no, we're gonna gently put one in
Yep,
there.
it'll automatically get added to your order if you spend over $325.
Yep. And those Go Me's are great. Maybe you already have one, but you could donate it to a quilt guild
Yes.
or a church.
Or Girl Scouts
Girl
or 4-H.
Nursing homes, we've had some that we've donated to nursing
Yes,
homes.
I've loved hearing people's stories about how they maybe have an extra Go Me and they've donated. It's such a sweet story.
I have an extra Go Me. It sits by my sewing machine because inevitably I'm forgetting to cut enough half.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Now, don't forget on AccuQuilt Live, we always give something away. And today we're going to give away our Go Double Wedding Ring die. Now, this is a 2-die set, which is kind of fun, on a 10 by 10 die board. So for your chance to win, be sure and share this video on your personal Facebook page. Isn't that so cute? And it's summer, so we added a bonus giveaway. Another lucky winner is going to win one of our big Go Green cutting mats, right? And a rotary cutter. Morgan's going to choose a winner, and Kristina announced the winners at the end of our show.
Yes.
Okay? So be sure and share. All right, final reminder, it's almost game over for the Go Sports Medley die. This was our die to try for the month of, is it July?
It's July currently, yes.
But in a minute, it's gonna be August.
Yep.
Holy smokes.
Somehow.
Okay, get one today to use with all of your sports themed projects. Think of all the creative uses for this fun die. Pennants and pillows and totes and wall hangings and more. And don't forget, if you have an embroidery machine, it has a free embroidery download. That's a $27 value. I did, now that I think about that, that was just last week I showed that, right?
Yep, somehow.
So much has happened in 7 days. But I did finish Oakley's quilt top, so I just
good.
need to quilt it for her.
Wonderful.
All right, so let's get started. Now that quarantine restrictions are starting to lift, all of those weddings that were put on hold are soon going to be happening.
Yes.
So the Go Double Wedding Ring is the perfect die to make the amazing gift for the happy couple. All right, so let's take a look at this die. All right. First of all, it's a 2-die set. You want to make sure you have both pieces. It doesn't work with just one, okay? Ask Joe, he was asking me about it, okay? So first of all right, so here's the first piece. So you're gonna notice a couple of things. It has 6 distinct shapes. There's 5 on this one and 1 on the other. And we've screen printed them for you for easy placement and cutting, okay? Now, Kristina, you wanna talk about shape F for just 1 second, because we talked about it yesterday.
Yeah, so if you don't want to necessarily piece those side pieces,
Right,
you can
here's
always do something like the quilt behind me where it's just a solid piece.
Right, right. So here's a sample of one that we've pieced, okay? and I'm going to show you how to cut those and sew them together. Now notice there are curved edges on all the shapes. Don't be scared of curves. Look at all these great notches that we have here. Okay, the notches are going to help you get all of the pieces together. And again, the coolest part of this die is you can either make the arch pieced, like I did here, or you could just use shape F and make it solid. And I have a little pro tip on that, okay? Now quilters, this is what we call a block and board or a bob die. That means all the pieces you need to make an entire double wedding ring block are on these 2 die boards. Did you know that AccuQuilt has over 70 bob dies? This die makes an 11.5-inch finished block. So Kristina, what's your favorite bob? Because I bet it's on sale today, 28%.
That's hard. Probably maybe the Starry Path. That's
Starry
one of my
Path
favorites for sure.
I do love that one. And Morning Star.
Oh yes, that one's
Yeah,
beautiful.
that one's one of my favorites. Okay, so here's my pro tip. Start small. Think about making a bed runner or a table topper. Don't think, oh, today I'm gonna start and make a king size quilt. Okay, it's just gonna take you a little bit of time to make one of these, okay? So keep that in mind, start small, because maybe you have a fall wedding. Start now, get it all done. All right, Kristina, what kind of cake are people loving?
So many. Pamela says they had a groom's cake and a Black Forest cake.
Oh man, that sounds good.
Black Forest forever. Gosh, a lot of people are saying they had so many different kinds of cakes.
See?
Renee says 15 years ago tomorrow they had a vanilla Genoese sponge with raspberry filling.
Yum. Hey, and congratulations on your anniversary tomorrow.
Bonnie says pina colada.
Wow.
That's a good one.
Fancy cakes.
So fancy.
We are in agreement here in the Dream Studio that any kind of cake is good.
Truly. Yep, there's not a bad cake.
There doesn't have to, there doesn't have to be a wedding involved. We can just have cake. Okay? All right. Now, we're going to start cutting here in just a second, but don't forget to join Lynn and Erica and I on Tuesday. It will be August 3rd at 12 noon Central Time. We're going to launch our newest die to try. We do it the first Tuesday of every month. Register in the link below. What do they want to register, Kristina?
Because that's how you win.
We're going to give stuff away.
So much stuff. Whether it's fabric, whether it's dyes, we give so much away at those shows.
Yes, so fun. So you want to make sure you enter, all right? And then come hang out. Bring a friend. Have a watch party, okay? It'll be fun. All right, so let's cut some fabric.
There's a great question from Candace.
Hi, Candace.
Do you have any recommendations for how to choose colors for this die? I'd say use Go Quilt.
I was going to say, go to Go Quilt.
Definitely.
There's a pattern on there that you can just put in double wedding ring and look. I would say like maybe you're doing wedding colors. Yep. The one behind Kristina, can we get a shot of the one behind Kristina, Greg? The one behind Kristina is just spring colors, and it's like production fabric, reproduction fabric, right, from the 30s, which I think is just stunning.
It's beautiful. I love them so much.
Just beautiful, okay? So think of that. I'm gonna tell you that the fabric I use, Ray said to me, Pam, that is not the best colors of fabric you've ever chose. But I wanted it to kind of stand out so you can see, okay? So great question. Yeah, use some Go Quilt. All right, so D and E are these shapes in the arch. Okay, so these are E's and this is D's. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. These are D's and this is E. And E needs to be a mirrored image because you're going to put one on the left and one on the right. So when I'm doing E, I'm going to fan fold my fabric so I get a left and a right. And I do love a scrappy block, like always.
Yes, definitely.
Always. So think about that. Think about maybe you just want to make a scrappy one. Go to your scrappy quilts and see. Listen, go to your Halloween fabric and make a Halloween table runner. Leslie should do that. She was married on the Halloween time.
There we go.
Yeah, okay. All right, and then shape B is this square that's here on the end of the arc, okay? All right, so don't forget, check out Go Quilt to change the colorway for your project. Now you can always use 6 layers of good quilting cotton and 1 pass through the cutter. Look for that lengthwise grain, right? You want it nice and tight to go through the colors, all right? And then shape C right here and shape A right here are solids. Okay, so shape C and A, all right? And they should be the same color of solid. Yeah, you shouldn't mess that up, all right? All right, so I'm gonna lay some fabric out, and while I do, quilters ask me all the time, they say, Pam, like, do you think, does AccuQuilt really save me time and fabric? All right, Kristina, what would you say if somebody asked you about this, about your double wedding ring?
Oh my gosh, I would never cut it by hand in a million years.
Never.
There's too many pieces, it's too many curves,
Oh yeah.
I'd cut a finger off.
It's just a mess. I'm gonna cut a little smaller piece of this. Yeah, I mean, it's just really hard to do that, okay? So I am going to take my little fabric, and on D, I'm just gonna fan fold. So I'm gonna go back and forth. When we talk about fan folding quilters, this is what we mean. We're going back and forth across the die, okay? All right, and you just wanna make sure you cover that shape. I'm gonna do it like this, because I'm gonna show you a trick. I do love a good trick, okay? And then E is all this kind of blue, right? So E, we wanna make sure we fan fold so we get a left and a right, okay? And what I've done, quilters, is I've just measured from here to here, added a 1/4 of an inch, and just cut a strip. But you could totally just use scraps. That would be so fun. Okay. All right, Kristina, while I lay this out, tell us what kind of cake people are eating.
Let's see, Martha says an ice cream cake.
Oh my gosh.
Kimberly says a hummingbird cake. Nancy says confetti angel food cake, which is probably my
You
favorite.
should totally hang out with all of those people.
I agree.
Okay. And then B and D, I just need a couple of them, so I'm just gonna put them here. Okay. All right.
Oh wow, Wilma says we just celebrated our 57th anniversary, and they
Wow.
still have the royal icing flowers from the top.
I don't think they taste good anymore.
Well, I don't think you eat them. They're probably in
Oh.
the freezer, I would think.
Yeah, they're just like decoration. How fun is that?
And we did get a question about how you would bind the edges.
We're gonna talk about that.
We'll talk about it. Stay tuned.
Secret. We're going to talk about it. Okay, so I've just laid my fabric here, okay? And then I'm going to just lay one piece of little fabric right here on shape C. Okay, I'm going to lay more than one. All of the mistakes I make cutting fabric is because I watched the Olympics while I sewed. Okay, all right. Now, lengthwise grain back and forth through the die board. Notice I'm going to turn it this way. The reason is because I have all these little tails. But Kristina, are we worried about those tails?
No way,
How come?
because there's no blades in the cutter.
No blades in the cutter. They're just in the die.
Yep, it'll only cut where there's fabric in a die.
Right.
Or in a mat, excuse me.
Yep. And this Go Big is how much right now, Kristina?
The Go Big is $4.31.
Oh my goodness. Okay, give it some love because boy is it staticky here in the Dream Studio today. All right, and now look, I just have my little shapes that I'm just gonna peel back my fabric, okay? And I'm gonna do it kind of slow. It's not a Band-Aid, right?
There's a couple folks saying that they've cut double wedding ring quilts by hand.
Oh, blessings on your head.
And I'm saying, if you do not already have a cutter, the Go is also on sale.
Okay, how much is the Go right now?
So the Go is already marked down.
Okay,
And plus that 28%, if you use the code today, it's only $143.
wow.
It's $143 to just get your foot in the door and get started.
Just get you a Go. Excellent, okay? Okay, now, so here are my shapes D and E and B, and here's my middle C, okay? Oh, I feel like it's a piano. I should have a piano joke for middle C. Okay, now, here's my little pro tip. C shape F, all right? I'm gonna put cardstock, and I'm just gonna cut one shape F. Kristina, did you know you could cut paper with your Go dies?
I did.
Yeah. And the reason I'm doing that is when I sew my little arch together, this is kind of a little template to make sure that the size is correct, that I've sewn it together correctly. Look at that.
There's a question from Deborah.
Hi, Deborah.
She wants to know if you could do this with a jelly roll.
Could you do this with a jelly
Cut the
roll?
small pieces?
Let me measure. Let me measure and see. What is a jelly roll? 2.5 inches. You can make that with a 2.5 inch strip die. So far, yeah.
I think it'd be really close.
Shape D is going to be really, really close. But like shape B and E, you could totally cut with a jelly roll. That's a great question, okay? All right. I'm gonna move my stuff and things over here. Can we go down a little bit, Miss Chelsea? Miss Chelsea's in the house today because Justin and his wife have art parents this morning. Congratulations. I'm sure they're not watching. Justin and his wife, they have a little baby girl. Her name is Joy Elizabeth. And we're waiting for pictures, right? He hasn't sent pictures yet. All right. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out my block. And Kristina, why do we do this?
So you don't mess it up.
So I don't mess it up. Okay.
Oh, we've got a great question from Krista.
Hi, Krista.
Says, if you were making a whole quilt, would you cut all of the fabric first?
Yes.
Yeah, I would too.
Yes. And I would sew all of the arches together first. And you're going to have a lot of little arches and a ton of big arches.
Yeah, you could do it kind of in phases.
Yes.
I wouldn't take the time to sew one whole circle at first. I would definitely do the arches and stuff like that first.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. And, okay, now you're all nervous about this, but look, see how these notches are going to line up right here next to each other. They're going to just be perfect. Okay? All right, so I'm going to start by sewing these pieces together. Hang on here. I got to make sure I have enough E's and F's. Okay, here's E's. And the way that you're going to know that you have done the E and the EF right is because, look, there's no notch on this end because it's going to go right here to shape B. So I'm going to cut one more of little b. All right, while I'm cutting one, will you tell us what people are watching or what they're eating?
Yes.
Because that's what we do here.
We've got someone that said, I made my friend white chocolate raspberry cheesecake for their wedding.
Oh my goodness.
Love that.
That sounds delicious.
So delightful.
Yes.
We're seeing, let's see, Willow says lemon cake with a raspberry layer.
Okay.
Incredible.
Raspberry lemon is one of my favorite combinations together.
Yes.
Okay, what else?
I'm seeing a lot of like German chocolate. Seeing a lot of lemon. Lemon's a popular one. Linda says carrot cake with cream cheese frosting. Always.
Always.
Julie says we had a pineapple upside down cake for ours 15 years ago on Friday.
Oh, congratulations. Happy anniversary. And I do love pineapple upside down cake. I'm just cutting shape F's for a minute. I just want to show you how I'm just going to chain piece. You know how I do love to do that.
Sue says my husband's favorite cake / cupcake is red velvet since he took his first bite of it.
Oh, amen. Amen to the red velvet team.
And she says after 53 years of marriage, we're both still learning things about each other.
Aw, that's very sweet. See? Okay. I'm just making pieces here. Okay. All right. There's my F, and we'll get another little orange in here. All right, let's start sewing. Oh, I gotta take off my shoes.
Ooh, Angela says white chocolate key lime cheesecake.
Oh my goodness, that sounds divine.
Do you know that Costco sells key lime pies?
No.
They sure do. Over in their bakery department, they have like giant key lime pies for the summer.
Really? Okay. All right, so here we go. So quilters, when you lay out your fabric, you're going to do 6 layers, which is not what I did, and that's why I had to cut them again. Okay, but we're going to just do a nice little 1/4 inch seam. We're going to just do some chain piecing.
Ooh, Roxy says I liked the donut wedding cake.
I have never in my whole life ever heard of that.
No, you've never had a wedding where they had donuts instead of cake?
No, I need to go to more weddings.
I had one 5 years ago for my childhood best friend, and she literally had a wall of donuts.
Are you serious?
They were hung on pegs. It was so cute.
Okay, we do that like at Halloween, right? With the apples. Notice quilters, I did not do 6 layers, and that's why I'm cutting more pieces. It's okay. Go ahead, what other ones?
Let's see. Oh, there's so many. Leanne says the only thing my son wanted for his wedding cake was funfetti cupcakes.
Oh,
I love that.
there you go.
Carol says we had marble cake and chocolate topping. For
Wow.
theirs.
Wow.
Ooh, Gianna says we attended a wedding 5 years ago that had pies. I love
I
that.
could totally be down for that. I could totally do that. All right. All right, quilters, I'm just cutting pieces. I'm going to tell you to cut all your pieces first. Holy smokes. There we go. All right, so now I'm just chain piecing my little arches together. We're going to pretend we're in southern Utah. Okay? And then when I get to that point, I'm going to press them open. Okay? Because you're going to need a small arch and a large arch. And what do we always tell quilters about when they get a new die? What should they do? They should
Make a test block.
make a test block.
Always.
This was kind of my test block. Okay, Kristina, I've never made double wedding ring before.
No?
No.
Oh.
No. It was, I don't know why. Because my kids aren't married yet.
Oh, there you go.
So I made a bazillion baby quilts for folks, but yeah. Okay, and hey, don't forget our little shovel iron, and our mat is also on our website. It's not
Yes.
part of the sale today, but that's okay. All right, so I'm gonna press my, ooh. I am barefoot and I see that broken pin. That makes me a little nervous. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Look at these arches, aren't they pretty?
Ooh, Catherine says I went to a wedding once that had fried pies instead of cake. Fried pies.
Oh my goodness.
Love that.
Our quilters do way cooler things than I've ever done in my whole life. I'm just saying. Okay. So notice how I'm just laying them out so I do this right. Because in my quilting head, I've done them wrong. Okay. Are we good? Yeah, look at that. Okay, so now I'm just going to keep adding these pieces together, and then I'm going to sew on my pieces, and then I'm going to press, and then I'm going to show you how they sew together. They're going to sew together perfectly because we've added that 1/4 inch seam allowance, which is awesome. Okay. And don't forget our code today. What is our code today, Kristina?
Save 28.
Save 28.
And that double wedding ring's on sale too.
How much is our double wedding ring today?
So that 2 die set is normally $109, but it's only $79 today.
Oh, this is a great die to get if you have any weddings upcoming in the next year.
And they said 2021 and 2022 are the biggest years for weddings in like the last 50 years.
Oh, I bet, because nobody had weddings during COVID, right? I did watch a couple of weddings via Zoom
you
during
go.
COVID. Yeah. Okay, so see how I'm doing this? I'm just chain piecing for days. Okay.
It goes so fast. I love it.
I know, just listen, if you cut all your pieces right and then don't talk, it could go together super fast. Okay, so here we go. But we like to talk, and then I always like to cut more pieces. Okay, here's the tip I'm going to show you. Boy, you really want to press your seams open. Okay, and the reason why is otherwise you're going to have just tons of bulk. Right?
There was a question asking if you had to clip the corners.
No, why not, Kristina?
I don't know why not.
You don't clip the corners because it's kind of a gentle arch. It's not a
Okay.
big, it's not like a circle, going around a circle. So you typically clip the edges so that it lays flat, but we've added those notches and it's going to lay really flat for you. Okay. There we go.
And there is a couple questions about the edges again, and if you can square off a double wedding ring block instead of having those curved edges.
Oh, I'm going to tell you no,
Because then it won't look right.
because then it's not a ring, it's just a block.
Right. But we'll show you how to do the
We're going to show you the super cool how to cut bias binding. There's a trick. All right, here we go. All right, Kristina, last couple here while I'm ironing them out.
Jan says Black Forest cake with cherries on top is the best.
Okay.
I get that. Someone said, Janice, she said, my daughter and son-in-law were all about the appetizers at their wedding.
Okay.
So they had like fried mac and cheese and things like that.
Oh, there we go.
That's so fun.
That's what we need, right? Okay. Now, Look at this. Look how good this is, because now I just have the 1/4 inch seam allowance on the sides. Okay, that's how I know I'm doing it right. Oh, I do love it when it works. Okay, so now we're gonna go, will you scroll down for me? Yep. So now we're gonna add a shape B to either side of the arch. So, and these can totally be scrappy quilters, okay? And you just do it to one side. Don't get all whack-a-doodle and think you have to do it to both sides. It's just one side of the arch. Because then I'm going to show you how to sew them together. It's going to be awesome. Look how fast this goes. And when I was making the sample, I was really surprised at how quickly it went together.
Truly, I feel like since those pieces are cut very accurately,
Right.
that it doesn't take quite as long.
Right. Think about trying to cut those by hand. Holy
No,
smokes.
absolutely not.
Yeah. Well, you don't cut anything by hand ever.
Nope.
Okay?
I don't.
All right, don't forget our promo today is take 28% off your order of $28 or more. Use that promo code SAVE28, SAVE28. And if you spend more than $150, we're going to ship it to you free. And if you spend more than $325, we're going to send you a free Go Me.
Yes.
So all sorts of free things. All right, don't forget to share because I'm giving away one of our double wedding ring dies. And we've added this extra bonus, right? For the summer, we're giving away a rotary cutter and a mat. All right, so next, here's what we're gonna do. Share them on your personal Facebook page. We love it when you share. Okay, so now here is my pieces, all right? All right, so I'm gonna pin this here, and don't forget to join us on, or don't forget that all of our live events live on our Facebook and YouTube channels, right? Mm-hmm. So if you come back and you're thinking, Pam, how do you make double wedding ring? You can rewatch this, okay? All right, now, you're gonna match up your notches here. And just for Erica, I'm gonna pin. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this right here to the corner, and I'm just gonna go all the way around. Some of you are already stressed about this because look, you think it's not gonna work. I promise you, it will work, okay? So you wanna sew the smaller one to the arch first. Yep, there's our graphic. All right, good job, Kristina, on our graphics. And Chelsea's in the house today. She helped us with some things today as well. Is there a new baby picture yet?
There is, but I don't think we should probably show it.
No, we should not.
It's not our baby.
It's not our baby, we're not gonna share.
But there is a picture. She's very cute.
And she's darling. Oh, good. Congratulations to Justin and his beautiful wife. Okay, so notice I'm just going really slow and I'm just lining up my notch. Okay.
Ooh, Bonnie has a great question.
Bonnie.
What size mat do you use for this die?
10 by 10, it's a square. Okay, don't try to use your big 10 by 24 mat.
Nope, it'll shift and you'll be mad and...
It's gonna shimmy. Yeah. Oh, guess what happened?
Uh-oh. Did we run out of bobbin?
No, my top thread broke. It's okay.
Story of my life.
Story of my life, right? At least I only sewed one seam before I wasn't sewing a whole quilt. There we go. Oh. All right, Kristina, while I'm threading this, tell us what people are eating.
Let's see. Joanne says, our wedding was so long ago, I don't remember what kind of cake we had, but her favorite is plain white cake topped with hot fudge syrup.
Really?
Never had that before.
Okay, my great-grandfather, he was from Norway. He was a funny guy. He would eat white cake with just butter on the top. Yeah, no sugar.
Buttercream, but butter?
Just butter. And he tried to convince me when I was a little kid that that was the best way ever to have cake. And I was like, I am not, no. I know how to do better cake than that.
That is not one I have heard before.
Yeah.
My grandfather used to eat like Lay's potato chips and ketchup sandwiches.
Oh, my word.
But that's not as bad as butter on cake, I feel like.
No. Okay, and when I was a kid, my dad, he would cook on Saturday. Saturday was like our chore day, you know? And so he would cook for the kids. And there was, we had foster kids that lived with us and stuff. And there was just a billion kids. And he would make, this will make you laugh, beef broth and noodles.
Okay.
That was it. Just beef broth and noodles. And so he just basically he'd have beef broth and add noodles. And then if it was a banner day, he'd add frozen corn.
Ooh, there you go.
I know.
Fancy.
So when my kids were little, I tried to feed them beef broth and noodles, and they would have none of it. Okay, here we go. You ready? Look at this. Ta-da. And you're going to press towards this center. I know some of you were worried that it wasn't going to work right, but I promise you it does. Okay. Ooh, that is screaming hot.
Okay, so we've gotten a couple questions about that solid arch.
Yes.
A lot of folks are saying it seems to be larger than the pieced, and they would think it would be the same size.
Right. So here's what happens is we still have that 1/4 inch seam allowance on the side,
Okay.
right? So it's going to fit on this little piece perfectly.
Okay.
It's going to go here. Don't stress about the solid. Okay? Okay, and then look. Now you're going to sew this to the top the exact same way. Okay? And once you've sewn it together, it's going to look like this. All right? And you know that you've sewn it together correctly if all the notches are facing outward. All right, so let's cut a center piece, and I'm going to show you how to add it to the center. I know people kind of stress about double wedding ring, but I promise you it's going to work. Okay? That label is going to be at my belly. We want that lengthwise grain, nice and tight. Look, stretch, wonky, high and tight. Okay? I'm going to use my 10 by 10 cutting mat. Kristina, what happens if you try to use a die without a mat?
Not a darn thing.
Not a darn thing. Okay?
Kelly says, my cousin had a different flavor of cake at each table.
I would move from table to table as a guest.
A friend of mine did that. She had a different flavor so that you had to move to different tables to get the flavor of cake you wanted. So you had to like mingle with everyone there.
I would not mingle. I would just sit and eat cake. Okay, though. That's great. That's great. Okay. So now what you're going to do is we are going to take this and it's going to stop right here where these notches end. Okay? And I'm going to sew one together because then what's going to happen, quilters? We're going to add that other piece and it's going to fit. Okay? So I wanted to show you this because all of you are going to be stressed about the fact that the center piece is not as big as the outside. I'll move it up there for you, Joe. Okay? And I think we have a graphic. Do we have a graphic, Miss Chelsea? See? Look. Ta-da. Okay, so I'm going to add this little piece and we're going to sew it right here. Again, I'm going to pin it. All right? When I was first making this at home, I was like, this is wrong. But indeed it is not. Okay? All right? And then it's just going to come right around here and it's going to end right here. Okay? So I'm just going to start and sew. All right, Miss Chelsea, what is next? There. And we're going to just press it open. Okay. This is why, quilters, it takes a minute to make one of these. So when you're thinking about double wedding rings for, weddings, it's going to take you a hot minute to make one. Okay. There we go. And bring your patience. It's all going to work out fine.
Ooh, there's a great comment from Jeannie. She says, this actually looks doable.
It does. I would tell you, I had never made a double wedding ring for that exact reason. I was like, I am not sure I'm going to know how to do this, but actually you are.
Ooh, there's a great question from Jessie.
Okay, what's the question?
She says there's 2 die sizes available, so 2 of the double wedding ring.
Yes.
She wants to know which one she should get. Is it easier to use the 2-piece die or the 1-piece die? She's never made one before.
The 1-piece die is only for the go big.
Yes, so that's your first question, is if you
That's
have a
your
go
first
big,
question.
then either.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to come right here and I'm going to sew. Okay. Here we go. Okay. And then we're just gonna press this open, okay? And then when you come to add that next piece, all your pieces are gonna line up because you're gonna put that next big group right there. And it's gonna work. Some of you are already worried about it. Don't worry about it, all right? And then you would just add the next piece, all right? And then go all around the square. This is why it takes it a minute, right? Because you're like, oh, dang, this is, and always, 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 right? You're gonna make a test block.
Yes. But
right?
just imagine trying to make it without the die.
Right.
You know?
Right. So let's go right here and I'll just walk you through it, right? So it's gonna start here and it's gonna go this way. Yeah. All right, don't forget to check out our blog. Our blog is a place to find inspiration and tutorials and patterns and tips and tricks. You can meet our go-getters and get to know our team behind our brand. They also have patterns that are specific, right, just for the blog.
Yep, definitely.
You can get an email notification when our new blog goes live. All right, before we finish up, let's talk about our next Die to Try event, which is on Tuesday. Right? Join Lynn and Erica and I on August 3rd at 12 noon Central Time as we launch our newest Die to Try. I'm going to tell you, this is a really fun die. I've been making some step outs for it, and it's really cute. They're going to register in the link below. How come, Kristina?
Because that's how you win prizes.
That's how you win, okay? All right, so now somebody asked a great question, all right? So if you didn't want to make all of the pieces, you could sew just this solid arch. So behind Kristina, this is a bigger version of this behind Kristina. This was actually made with our studio cutter, but this is a sample of how you just make those solid arches. And look how pretty that is. So if you don't want it pieced, okay, just cut the solids, and then you do need to cut shape B, which are those cornerstones in the corner, okay? All right? Now, whenever you have a project that has rounded edges, you want to make what kind of binding? Kristina, do you know?
Bias binding.
Bias binding. And yesterday was such a great show as she was talking about all the different strip dyes she uses, right? And I'm going to show you how to use our strip dye to make bias binding. All right, so here we go. All right, and yesterday Eleanor talked about strips. Kristina, what's this bundle of strip dyes? What's that called?
It's the Go Strip Club die bundle.
Oh, there. And how much is it on sale? 28% off?
Oh gosh. 140, no, it is $375.
$375.
Sorry, I have notes and I couldn't find what I was talking about.
And it has a huge variety of strip dyes.
Yes.
So if you're new to AccuQuilt, if you maybe have the 2.5-inch strip and you're thinking, oh, I want some more different sizes of strips, check out that bundle. And don't forget our Go Big today, we have limited quantities. It's on sale for how much, Kristina?
Yes, $431.
$431, we're gonna ship it to you free.
Our Go is also on sale if you want to start there, but I always say start big as well.
Yeah, go big or go home, right? Okay, so let me show you how to cut bias binding. All right, so the trick is I'm going to use our 2.5-inch strip die. Okay, you can leave it right there. 2.5-inch strip die, and I have cut 16 inches width of fabric. I have tried other sizes of widths, and 16 is the magic number. And I've cut off most of my salvage edge right here because you're going to cut it off anyway, okay? So I'm going to move this so I have a little bit more space. Hey, don't forget to get you a little coffee mug. They're green inside. Oh, don't want to spill it. Okay. I've cut 16 inches. I'm going to open it up just like this. All right. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to fold your fabric, all right? And it's going to kind of look like an envelope. So watch this. I'm going to fold down my left side, and look at this, Kristina. There's that bias. Look at all that stretch.
Yes.
Okay? And then I'm going to fold up the other side right here. And look, tons of stretch. Now, I would tell you to press that seam out of the middle. For today, it's not going to matter, but I'm going to show you. Now, we want to cut on that bias edge. So very carefully, we are going to turn our fabric. So now the bias edge is the blades right here in the strip die. are going to cut that bias edge. And then I'm going to fold this side up to meet it. Now, quilters, it's really important that you don't break the 6-layer rule. Okay, you can only have 6 layers of cotton fabric. So now I'm going to pull this in like this, tuck it in, so it's starting to look like an envelope. Then I'm going to do this side, and it looks like an envelope. Now, notice I have lots of space still here on this side, but I've come off the black line on the other side. So I'm just going to gently move my fabric down. Quilters, this video lives on this Facebook page. Come back and watch it. Do a little test. Don't use your good grunge first. Okay? All right, so you ready? So I'm going to put a 10 by 24 cutting mat on it. All of our strip dies will fit in our Go and our Go Big fabric cutters. We have a few that will fit in our Go Baby as well. All right, so I'm going to run it through here, and I'm going to move this so I don't knock over my hot iron. All right, Kristina, what cuts? Tell us the last 3 kinds of wedding cake.
The last 3 kinds of cake. Let's see. Someone said Jello cake or like Jello cake, so white cake with like
with the
Jello.
Yeah, Jello in it.
Which is my favorite.
Yeah, you
Always.
poke them. We call those Jello poke cakes.
Cakes, yes.
Yeah.
A lot of folks are saying carrot cake.
Yeah.
It's a really popular one too.
Joe, what kind of cake did you have at your wedding? Joe doesn't remember. I feel like this afternoon he might learn. Okay, slide that mat down left. He was just enamored with his beautiful bride. Let's go with that, Joe. There. Okay, so now look at this, quilters. Look at all of this stretch, all of this good bias. So as it goes around the curve on that double wedding ring, it's going to be able to go around it. If you just cut normal binding, you're going to get those little seams in it, you know, that you kind of have to maneuver, all right? So, bias binding. All right, Kristina, did Morgan pick a winner for us?
Yes, we've got our 2 winners ready.
All right, first one, Kristina.
All right, so the winner of the die is Linnell Jackson.
Linnell Jackson, thanks for watching with us today.
All right, and then the winner of that basic cutting set is Dorothy Neubauer.
Congratulations, Dorothy. Thanks for watching with us. Morgan is going to reach out to you so that you can be our winners. Thanks for joining us today. Okay, next week, I'm going to make this super fun project called Go Picnic Play Throw Quilt. Okay, and it's a great project to keep those kids busy during those last dog days of summer. It uses strip dies. So if you're thinking, oh, I should get a variety of strip dies, how much is that bundle again, real quick, Kristina?
$375.
$375, we're gonna ship it to you free. All right, on behalf of our entire AccuQuilt team, again, congratulations to Justin and his sweet little new girl. Upstairs, we have Nick. In the Dream Studio, we have Mike. And Chelsea is filling in for Justin. How long are you gonna be here, for a couple of weeks? Till next week. We're glad that she's back. And we have Joe and Greg and my good friend, Kristina. Offsite, we have Morgan and Leslie. On behalf of our entire team, I'm Pam Heller, reminding you that at AccuQuilt, we help you cut time so you can quilt more. Have a great day.